Hi, everybody. Tim Hagen. It's been a while since I've posted. I got in a little bit of trouble with Substack because I uploaded some lists that were double opt in, but they created some problems. So they wanted to correct my list. So here I am. I'm actually in a hotel in Iowa at client meetings. And one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on, and I think it's such a good thing to share with everybody, is when we look at the types of coaching that are out there. We get into methodologies, but let's look at it fundamentally. How do we react to people? Okay. So when you think about a youth sports coach, what do we typically do? Okay. We typically do what? We typically have practices. We have a practice schedule. We have activities within that practice. And then we go to games. It all kind of fits together. You know what's funny? We don't do that in the work world. What we tend to do is skip the planning, skip the practice. We show up at the game, which could be the customer service call, the sales call, or when we're coaching somebody and there's a situation that we observe or we spot something. We typically spot things that are wrong that need corrective action versus, I found somebody doing something positive. And what happens is that wears on the employee, because if we're not scheduling time proactively, we're reactively coaching. And sometimes what that does is it puts us on a trajectory where we get ourselves into trouble. And where we get into trouble is not really understanding if we're making progress. Let me give you an example. So since I've been here, I was talking to a sales leader and he made a great comment. He said, but what if we're not always in the same place that they are? We're very dispersed geographically. And I said, all the more reason to use our coaching methodology. So QALMS, QALMS, questions drive self-awareness, activities facilitate change, learning projects bestow accountability and ownership, the motivator where that person wants to go, and then supplemental coaching. And I said to him, are you setting he or she up with a mentor? Are they doing self-practice? Are they doing peer-to-peer practice? Are they observing other people doing their job well and journaling what they learned as a result? You don't have to be physically present for everything. And he looks at me and goes, oh my gosh, how do I put all this together? And so if you haven't heard, we have actually built a very cool tool that you can do an assessment. And the assessment allows you to fill out a form. You tell us about the employee. You tell us the goal. You tell us the 4 main initiatives. We build you a 1-year coaching plan. I'll put my email address and you can send me email. Just put on the subject line coaching plan, and I'll send you a sample coaching plan for someone who wants to become a leader who's a high D in DISC, and the manager's trying to prepare her. And it's very customized. It's not generic. It isn't like we just spit stuff out. We actually do audios and videos speaking directly to the manager of how to coach this particular employee. See, if we don't plan, how do we prepare? And if we don't plan or prepare and we don't facilitate practice, how do people get better? Our employees are magically going to come to us and say, boss, don't worry about it. I've got this. I'll coach myself and I'll practice and I'll prepare. No, it's not going to happen. We all know that, right? I mean, 85% of people, and again, I've cited it a million times. I love the book Insights by Dr. Tasha Eurich. 85% of people significantly lack self-awareness. Think about that. So if 85% lack self-awareness, they're not going to do it. If we don't have time to proactively schedule people and coach them and put a plan together, what's going to happen? Nothing's going to change. And I just had a situation that I'd love to share with everyone where the rep wanted to leave for more money. I went to the manager. I said, well, what was his motivator? This guy's coaching. And the motivator is where that person wants to go. It's not motivation to the job. It's where does that person want to go? And that person wanted to run their own team someday. He loves team development. So I said to the manager, I said, well, did you bring up the motivator? And he goes, well, no, I didn't. And I said, so you're battling on more money because he got more money from this other firm. Why not go back to him and say, have you thought about, or let me ask you, by taking this lateral job for more money, will that get you closer to becoming a leader or push it back? And the rep goes, oh, I don't know. He stayed. So again, we have to have a plan. We have to, have a plan. If we have a plan, we can prepare. And if we prepare, we should facilitate practice. And then if you use all the things afforded to you in the progress coaching model, the QALMS, the questions, the activities, the learning project, the motivator, and the supplemental coaching, guess what happens? You have continuity. between conversations. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want, again, I'll send you a sample coaching plan. Just send me an email.